welcome to London Heathrow's Terminal 5. Today I'm here because as of November 2021, British Airways are bringing back the Superjumbo, the Airbus A380, from storage in Madrid. So as the train goes when BA returns a new aircraft, they send them on much shorter European routes to train the crews. So join me on this trip today on board the Airbus A380 from here in Heathrow across to Frankfurt in Germany. Welcome to Bradley Penny Aviation. London Heathrow's Terminal 5 was opened in 2002 and of course is the main hub for British Airways. And there of course is no mistaking who you are flying with in the check-in area. Now every time I find myself flying through Terminal 5, I'm struck at how incredible the architecture is. It has a stunning modern design running throughout and in my opinion looks great. Check-in at this early hour was far from busy, although the check-in agent was a little confused when I shared with her my day's plan of flights. Anyway, security today was a breeze and in no time at all we were overlooking the departures area. Terminal 5 offers for plenty of shops and eateries throughout, and if you have forgotten something, chances are T5 has you covered. The terminal does have very large windows which allows for plenty of natural light during the day, as well as superb views over the apron. Once you've decided to head downstairs, you are greeted with the duty-free plaza. It has everything you'd expect: fragrances, cosmetics, and of course free samples. I also met an old friend of mine from Manchester Airport's Terminal 2, Bones from the Kiel section. Great to see he's getting around. Terminal 5 itself is very well known for its shopping facilities, but certainly not at this hour. I was genuinely surprised to see the majority of shops closed, as most of them tend to open around 5:30 in the morning. The choices then were a little more limited. Of course you have the duty-free store, however if you were in need of some caffeine in the morning or a snack, there were a few options. At this point I was rather eager to catch a glimpse of our aircraft, so we took the transit over to Terminal 5C satellite where our aircraft would be waiting for us. After some guidance from this very helpful lady, we were well on our way. The Terminal 5C satellite was very quiet indeed at this early hour. Well, that was a quick tour of London Heathrow's Terminal 5. As I've already said in the video, do bear in mind the majority of shops and restaurants don't open till about 5:30 in the morning, so if you're on an early flight like me, chances are you may not get to see or do much. But what I can say is though, the views were very good at this early hour. Now, here comes the flight. I'm incredibly excited to try the Airbus A380. It's actually the world's biggest passenger aircraft. Let's get on board our flight to Frankfurt. At this point, I had a grin frozen on my face. I couldn't quite believe I was flying on board the A380. A massive thank you has to go to Aidan, the cabin manager on board today's flight, for informing us further about this flight today.
Welcome to the 380. Obviously at the moment we are doing London to Frankfurt and back, but also the aircraft is going to Madrid. So what this exercise is all about is getting our pilots, getting our crew ready for it to go back into main commercial service.
Welcome aboard, let's get ready for the departure.
We're just finalising all of our preparations up here, and we'll be on our way very shortly. Flight time this morning expected at 1 hour and 5 minutes, nice and quick, and we'll be on our way very shortly as we push back and taxi out. As per usual, the cabin crew will be showing you a safety demonstration.
After 18 worrying months of being dried up in the Spanish desert, the British Airways Airbus A380 has now been officially brought back into commercial service. As Aidan kindly mentioned, they will be flying the aircraft to Madrid and Frankfurt during the month of November. The time is of course ticking if you would like to experience the 380. Once they reach December and beyond, the A380 fleet will then be brought back for real, operating its long-haul services. The initial routes are Los Angeles, Chicago, Singapore, Vancouver and Johannesburg. On this beautiful winter's morning, we were greeted by a stunning sunrise, and the crew of course noticed this and allowed a few of us to head up a deck and enjoy it. We have now very quickly actually reached our cruising altitude. Let's take a quick look around the British Airways Airbus A380. The economy class cabin is laid out in a 10 abreast configuration in a 3-4-3 layout. The British Airways Club World business class cabin is in a staggered 6 abreast configuration with a 2-4-2 layout. The toilets on board were fairly large, with ample space and of course a baby changing table. Once we had reached our cruising altitude, the crew kindly came through the cabin with a drink and a snack, which was appreciated on this very short journey. The BA A380 is very spacious with high ceilings and a welcoming atmosphere. But what can you expect of the seat area in economy, and would I recommend it on a longer flight? Let's go and take a look now. At the top of the seat, you will of course find the touchscreen in-flight entertainment system, which I'll get back to shortly. Below that, you'll find a USB port to charge your devices and a remote for the IFE system, which will come in handy as the screen isn't particularly responsive. The tray table was of a decent size and was foldable. There was of course plenty of space and of course a cup holder. The tray table was also adjustable for smaller passengers or children. The legroom on board today I found to be very generous for someone around 6 foot tall. However, the IFE box below the seat did impact on the space I had available. Now back to the British Airways in-flight entertainment system. It was quite a large screen, and of course my favourite feature, mainly for av geeks, was the route map. The system itself did offer a decent selection of films and box sets available for passengers, but as you can see, the screen isn't very responsive whatsoever, which could be a problem. It also had a selection of music and some British comedy shows, even a game section for younger passengers, although no doubt at all some of the older passengers will definitely give them a go. We've now been given the amazing opportunity to tour this entire aircraft, upper deck and lower deck. The crew noticed I was filming a review and offered me a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to tour the entire aircraft. Let's take a look around the cabins I haven't yet seen. The Club Europe cabin is laid out in a 7 abreast configuration with a 2-3-2 layout, and due to the curvature of the fuselage, there were storage compartments at the sides. Taking photos and videos through the windows on board the A380 is really quite difficult, especially getting the angles needed. The Club World cabin is very comfortable indeed, with over 71 inches of legroom provided by BA. Take a look at these shots of me inside the aircraft. Welcome to the first class cabin on board British Airways. In my opinion, it looks like royalty with over 80 inches of seat pitch. I could only dream of being able to sit up front. The view from here isn't half bad either. What an incredible aircraft. It's such a pleasure to be able to fly this wonderful aircraft. The crew on board today have been absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look inside the cabin rest area on board. It was also a pleasure meeting Jerry from Big Jet TV. We've now commenced our descent down into Frankfurt. I thought I'd mention how comfortable this aircraft is. It's really quiet and flies very elegantly. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video for my final thoughts on today's flight. But for now, enjoy the landing. Around a 10-minute taxi today, so enjoy the views as we make our way to the gate. A massive thank you has to go to all the BA crew today. All 22 of them on board today treated me very nicely, and I couldn't believe they actually gave me the opportunity to tour the entire aircraft, including the cockpit. So enjoy the footage from the cockpit now. So welcome to Frankfurt in Germany. Stay tuned for my final thoughts in just a few moments time, but for now I'd just like to mention that I actually have a 30-minute connection to catch here in Frankfurt for my LOT Polish Airlines flight from Terminal 1, so stay tuned to see how I get on in my upcoming review. Welcome to Frankfurt Airport after that flight with British Airways on board the A380. Starting things off at Heathrow, I was genuinely surprised to see most of the shops closed at this early hour, which was quite disappointing. Now we come to the flight, it was impeccable. The crew couldn't do enough for their passengers, and today's flight, being able to fly on the Superjumbo, was a huge bonus as well. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this review. If you happen to enjoy it, or if you learned something from it, please be sure to leave a like, comment what you thought of it down below, and of course subscribe to the channel for future content just like this. That's all from me today. Take care of yourself and stay safe.